guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So right off the bat, in today's video, we're going to be hitting a hot topic that has been on my channel for the last couple of years. I see you guys down in the comments constantly asking me, A, what kind of lift this is, and B, how did I modify this lift to get the ramps on the side. So in today's video, we're going to be kind of spearheading this in 3 different parts. We're going to be talking about the lift that I have, the modifications that I did to this lift, as well as what other lifts do I have, and how do I use all 3 of these lifts hand in hand together. And then I'm also going to talk about, for you guys, the consumer, what lift would be best regular DIYers like myself with limited space or limited cash. So without further ado, let's get into it. I also want to start this off, if you guys just want to stay here for certain parts of this video, like specifically to my Harbor Freight motorcycle lift that is here in front of me and the modifications that I did with the side ramps, I'm going to have chapters down in the video description kind of pointing out when I talk about things and exactly where. So if you would like to fast forward, you could do that. So without further interruption, this table lift right here is a 1,000-pound Harbor Freight motorcycle lift. I've had this lift for approximately 5 years now. I bought it during COVID when we built our pole barn garage, and this lift has been nothing short but amazing. I know the reviews online can be skewed and mixed up from time to time where people complain about certain issues with their Harbor Freight lift, but I can assure you this has been nothing but amazing for us personally. Obviously, we're not running a professional garage here by any means. We're just people that like to wrench on our bikes and like to just kind of record doing such. And occasionally we have friends' bikes over where we help them out with work and their bikes go up on the lift. But I can assure you this lift has been amazing for us. We've had bikes as small as Sportsters all the way up to an Ultra on this lift. While certain bikes do fit a little nicer necessarily, the Ultra fits on just as well as the Street Glide or Road Glide. I mean, they're the same chassis, it's just a little bit more weight. But the lift itself has had no issues jacking up an Ultra or taking an Ultra down. So there's that. Now, if you are running a garage, making money, making profit, and you worked on Ultras all the time, would I say this is a lift for you? Maybe not necessarily, because you could obviously spend a little bit more money and get a air lift, something that would be a little bit more convenient for getting the bike up and back down in a little bit quicker fashion, and something that would probably be a little bit more sturdy. However, if you were just kind of starting out and had a super low budget, this lift would definitely get the job done until you saved up money to get a better airlift and a kind of just a beefier one in general. But if you're like myself and just kind of throw the bike on to do your service, do an oil change and some mods, I think they go for $560 now. I can't even tell you what I paid for this lift 5 years ago, but I can tell you that at the time I had one of those Harbor Freight 20% off coupons for one item only, and they did accept that 20% off coupon. So if I remember correctly, I think I paid around $350, $360. I could be wrong, but like I said, it's been 5 years now that I've had this lift, so I'm kind of just going off of memory for some of it, because I just simply, as time goes on, you just kind of forget some little detail. Now, as far as my Harbor Freight lift goes, as you guys can see, we did change out the wheel chock. My recommendation to any one of you guys that run this Harbor Freight lift, definitely change out that wheel chock. I know there's some other content in forums and other videos that suggest the same thing, and I would recommend the same thing as well. The wheel chock that comes on the Harbor Freight lift is definitely very chintzy, and it kind of leaves a lot to be desired. I remember when we first had my 14 Street Glide up, when we first bought this lift and had that little wheel clamp down, the bike was very wobbly, so I would not trust it personally. Even with this nicer wheel vise, we still take precautions and always throw at least one ratchet strap across just to make sure, because at the end of the day, I do not want my $30,000 Harley falling off a lift because I was too lazy to put a strap on that takes 30 to 45 seconds. But that leads me to what kind of wheel vise did we go with on this Harbor Freight lift. So believe it or not, this is a Titan wheel clamp. Before I recorded this video, I tried to get my ducks in a row and get links for everything that I have here down below in the description. So if you guys are looking for buying something similar, or if you have a Harbor Freight lift and you want to upgrade your wheel chock, you can go down below in the description. I don't get any kickback for any of these links because most of everything that I'll link below is from Harbor Freight or Amazon, so I don't get a commission. It's just parts that I used. I've used them for 5 years now. I kind of trust them because I've been using them. So if you guys are looking for them, the links will be down below. Back to what I was saying. So this is a Titan wheel vise. I tried to look up to get the link for this, and it appears that Titan does not make this particular wheel vise anymore. I believe I spent around 140, 150 bucks for it. It's been awesome. It works extremely well. Heck of a lot better than the original Harbor Freight little clamp. Also, it appears Harbor Freight came out with their own practically identical one, even down to the rubber pad. It looks like the same exact pattern, and Harbor Freight's selling them for $79. So I'll just kind of link that one down below in the description. But like I said, this particular one is a Titan. I'll leave the link below to the Titan website as well, but they don't have a price and they don't have options to buy it on their website anymore. So I'm just going to go with that it's discontinued from them. But like I said, Harbor Freight makes an identical one for $79, which is about probably half of what I paid. So I wish Harbor Freight made that exact one about 4 or 5 years ago, because I probably would have picked it up. Now, to the next part of this video, and the $1 million question you guys have been asking me: what are these side ramps? Where are they from? And how do I get them on a lift of your own? Well, put simply, they are just Harbor Freight motorcycle / ATV ramps that you can get from Harbor Freight for, I believe, price checking it at the time of me recording this video was about $84. If I remember correctly, I think it spent somewhere in the $50, $60, maybe $70 wheelhouse. But these are just simply Harbor Freight ATV motorcycle ramps. So when you're there picking up your lift, you can get the wheel chock and the ramps together. Pretty simple. Now, how did we get these ramps installed to the lift like so? It is just simply nothing but 1¼ inch pipe, 1.5 inch hole saw, and some U-bolts. I believe they're 1.5 inch U-bolts or 2-inch U-bolts. We drilled through the lift, mounted the U-bolts upside down, used the hole saw to drill a hole in the side of the ramps. The 1.25 inch pipe we cut in 14-inch pieces. Obviously, both ramps have 3 pipes, so 6 pipes in total. Like I said, we cut them in 14-inch increments. And it's just 1.25 inch, like I said, with like 1.5 inch, 2-inch U-bolts, Harbor Freight motorcycle ATV ramps. Now, the nice thing about these are, if you're putting the bike up on by yourself, it kind of gives you some footing, because if you guys know that have a Harbor Freight lift, the lift itself's very narrow. Now, if you're moving a Sportster or a Dyna up the lift, you can kind of just do it by yourself or have someone kind of just give you a push from behind and you can walk it right on up. Now, once you start getting to these baggers, I personally don't want to push my bagger up. I don't do this every day. I know there's guys, that work in garages, they walk them right up by themselves. That is not me. I don't do it enough. I don't feel comfortable enough taking my $20,000, $30,000 bagger up, especially I'm vertically challenged. I'm only 5'8", 5'9" on a good day if I'm not hunched over. So there's just something about getting my bagger up to about above my knee, waist height, that there's just something about gravity and weight that I'm just not going to win. So I'd rather just personally ride it up. And these ramps do a hell of a job allowing you to kind of just ride the bike up. So that's why we went with these. The only other thing that I'll add, which is nice, is obviously with the pipe and the U-bolts, these ramps are removable. So like in general, you get your bike up, you get the lift up in the air. All you got to simply do is wiggle these right on out, and there's one ramp, and then you can come right over to the other side and take that ramp off. And now you just have your standard Harbor Freight motorcycle lift, which is nice because then if you got to kind of get in closer, you can do such without having any issues. And I actually found the ramps are kind of nice because with a little microfiber towel so bolts and stuff just don't fall through the cracks. It's a pretty good place to kind of put your wrenches or tools, or like my magnetic bolt holder. You know, you kind of find uses to store your stuff, which I usually do. So I usually keep 1 or 2 ramps on, and honestly over time I just got kind of used to working around the ramps, so I just most likely leave them on unless I'm doing exhaust or something where I really need to get in a little deeper. Nonetheless, you can kind of see here we have our U-bolts. Like I said, 3 U-bolts upside down, so in total you would need 6 U-bolts. And then we just have 1.25 inch pipe cut to 14-inch pieces. And then as you can see, we just kind of used self-tappers to kind of just hold the pipe and keep the pipe from rotating. But that's pretty much all it is. And then you can just literally pop that right on. And just like that, the side ramp is on. And the other side's exactly the same. We use self-tappers to hold the pipe in place, and then boom, right on. So I know you guys are going to ask, how do we space these out? From this first pipe to the second pipe, you're looking at 22 inches center to center. And then from the second pipe to the third pipe, 22 inches on center. Let's see if we did it on the other side as well. Like I said, it's been so long I don't even remember. Yeah, this is 22 on center and 22 on center. So I actually just wanted to kind of give you guys an up-close view of the U-bolts and the pipe on the lift itself. And then, like I said, we kind of just welded extensions on down to the foot controls. And then an up-close view of the wheel vise that we have. And then as you can see, this pops off for getting the wheel on and off the lift. And then once again, they just slide in and out. Sorry for that screeching noise. And these Harbor Freight ramps are rated up to 1,100 pounds. And as you guys know, the ramp comes on and off. And then obviously you have a removable little cover for the rear wheel. And up closer, Hallmaster ramp. And if you guys didn't believe me, right there it is, 1,000-pound Pittsburgh Harbor Freight motorcycle lift. So just wanted to add this little bit into the video so you guys had a more up closer view. Nonetheless, so my Harbor Freight lift, as I said, we have a tight wheel vise, Harbor Freight ramp, and I told you we use 1.25 inch pipe cut to 14 inches and spaced out the pipe 22 inches from one another on center. So that is how the ramps, that's how they go on, that's how they go off, and that's how we made it work. Now the only other modification we had to make to the Harbor Freight lift is we realized once we got these ramps installed on the side, the pedal to jack the lift up and the pedal to release the jack to lower the lift kind of were stuck underneath that ramp on the left side of the lift. So the only thing we did was kind of weld pipe to add extensions on. Now as far as the extensions go, we kind of just wing that. We didn't really do anything crazy. So that's basically all we did, was just welded extensions onto the levers to just kick them out past the ramp. So that way we don't have to take that ramp on and off all the time to raise and lower the lift. Have we had any issues with the lift itself? No. The only issues I could say we had with the lift is our welded extensions, the lower part of the jack, because it's a smaller pipe. We just gotta kind of have like a piece of 2x4 underneath it to kind of just hold the jack up so it releases. But that's the only kind of thing that we have issue-wise. But like I said, that's because we welded extensions on and probably made that one a little too long, but it is what it is. Like I said, we just throw a 2x4 block under it for leverage and it works perfectly fine. Now I do see some people complain about the bottle jacks on these Harbor Freight lifts, that they don't hold, that they leak, yada yada yada. I can speak from my experience. Like I said, I've had this lift for 5 years. We haven't had any hydraulic leak from that bottle jack. We haven't had the bottle jack fail by any means. Still the original one. The only thing that I will recommend personally, and it's precautions that we take every day, is a hydraulic jack like that can, start to weep and lose hydraulic pressure over time and cause your lift to sink, or lower rather. So I definitely recommend using the stopper pipe that comes with the lift. And if you don't know what I mean, I'll show you right now. So just to show you what I was talking about, this bar comes with the lift, and I don't know how well you can see, but down here there's two adjustments, and you kind of just put the bar through, and then you lower the lift back to rest onto this bar. It's kind of just a keep-safe to prevent your lift from coming all the way down if you were to have a hydraulic leak. But as I said, in 5 years of owning this Harbor Freight lift, we haven't had any issues with the bottle jack underneath, with it weeping, leaking, or lowering on its own. So while there might be some reviews out there where they say this is the worst lift you can get in general, I'm sure it's like anything else. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones, and there's just simply some ugly ones. But overall, in my experiences, in the 5 years that I've had this lift, like I said a million times now, it's been a great lift. If I had money for a better lift, would I get one? Maybe, probably not, only because of the fact that, like I said, this lift serves pretty well for the uses that we use it for. As you guys know, I have tons and tons of videos on my channel where we have full-size touring bikes on this lift doing work. So you can see my videos from firsthand that the lift works and it does what it's supposed to do. That is about it for the Harbor Freight lift. We're going to get into these other two lifts or jacks here in just a second. So, if I'm doing a tire job or got to take wheels off the bike on this lift, this is where this nice little scissor lift comes in handy. This is an Extreme Max lift. This is rated for 1,100 pounds, and you just use a 7/8 socket to lower or raise the scissor lift. I don't know off the top of my head the exact lift that this jack goes up to, but I can tell you it is very, very sturdy, very heavy, and I got this off of Amazon. So just like everything else, I'll have the link to this down below in the description. So this works very well, and sometimes we use it with the bike just on the ground if we got to do like a quick clutch adjustment or something that doesn't take very long, just because this is simple to get out and just throw into the bike real quick. But nonetheless, that leads me to the last motorcycle jack that I have up here on the lift. And this is just a standard motorcycle lift that you can get at Harbor Freight. I've seen Craftsman ones. I've seen all different types of ones. I think Harley even sells one. They're all practically the same thing. These I think go for anywhere from $100 to $300 depending. This is a very old one. It has a sticker on here from American Motorcyclist Association, AMA, from 2001. I believe we got this from someone we knew for like 20 bucks. They just wanted to get rid of it, and we used to use this all the time before the garage was built and before we had the Harbor Freight lift. Now, one thing I will say is this jack works great, but there again, might as well throw a strap over it. You don't want to drop your prized possession. The only downfall to a lift like this is, as you can see, like the rubber pieces are prone to falling off, which is fine. I just throw a microfiber on if I'm using it. The only other issue is because of the jack being kind of spread apart like this and you having to go under the center of the bike, you're very limited on oil changes because you pretty much have to drain the fluids with the bike on the kickstand. After you reinstall your drain plugs, then you have to put this under to get the bike straight up. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. But as far as lift capacities, this one's rated for 4 tons. Works well, but like I said, we really don't use it much anymore because if we have to use the lift, we just use the Harbor Freight motorcycle table lift, and then like I said, in a pinch we just use this Extreme Max scissor lift. But like I said, these run you about like 150 to 300 bucks. They got some nice ones out now. As you can see, this one just has like a little jack there kind of on the bottle part itself for a foot pump. The new ones now kind of have like a full pull like a regular floor jack does for a car, so those are pretty nice. So I'll have a link to a slightly nicer one down below. If I was gonna buy one, I would link what I personally would buy down below in the description. But there you have it. That is just a quick video on my Harbor Freight lift, my experiences with it, the modifications that we made to this Harbor Freight lift, the scissor lift I use, and the floor jack that I use. As I said before, I'll have the links to everything down below in the description to the best that I can. Like I said, the wheel vise appears to be no longer made by Titan. As I showed you guys, just stopping at your local hardware store, picking up some pipe, some U-bolts, and a hole saw, and some self-tappers, you guys can add ramps to your Harbor Freight lift for probably right around $100, including the cost of the ramps. Make your life a hell of a lot easier getting your big baggers on and off your Harbor Freight lift. So if you guys made it this far in the video, make sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that way you guys stay notified when I post new videos like this one or when I release new Sportster Build episodes coming up in the future. This is all I got for you today. Make sure to ride safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!